Yeah, so as his wife, even though he doesn't like me saying it, I have to rein him in sometimes of, okay, you can't say yes all the time and you can't do it all. But he thinks differently now. It's where can I make an impact for God's glory in all aspects of my life? So his work, of course, student ministry at the ball fields. I mean, all three of our kids play sports and in activities. He joined the fire department last year, which I kind of thought he was crazy, but there was so much more to it than I just want to do it. He saw it as an opportunity to, have a group of men who he could, get to know and be known, and, just like God's orchestrated it all within the year of him being in the fire department. He's a chaplain. So, which it's just all just been so neat to see just how it's led up to all the different things he's been able to do.
There's a lot of people who knew me then. If they knew where I was now, they would be shocked because of the things that I did and that I said, that they would not understand how I got to be where I am today because of the person I was.
Our high school experience was kind of the typical John Mellencamp story almost of I was the good girl cheerleader, he was the football player, I was the good girl, he was the bad guy. Should I be dating him? Probably not, but it was that kind of that bad boy image. Pretty self-centered, partied a lot, and that wasn't me really.
So I grew up going to church. My whole family went. We were very involved. It was important to us. It was part of my faith foundation. So we were attending church on Sundays, and then I was living a life otherwise outside of that. As I grew up in high school, as many people can attest, I lived one way throughout the week, and on Sundays I lived a different way. And I really thought that was okay, and that was the way faith was for me, is that you could live life one way, and that on Sundays, as long as you went to church, you were okay, and that was part of your salvation. Sitting in a circle of men reading the Bible was something I'd never done. Reading God's Word out loud together was something that was new. Having people sit around and share their struggles, personal not only, but also their faith struggles, helped me see that there's vulnerability, there's people that are in the church that aren't perfect. So that to me was something completely new, and it made me think, wow, I can be me as broken as I am, just like I am, the things that I've done in the past. That doesn't define me, but what Jesus did, that's what defines me, and that it just makes my heart change to where I wanted to grow more toward living a life different, not for me, but for him.
It was God orchestrating it all, between having the baby and all the struggles we've had, him starting the Bible study, and then wanting more out of a community and church. It just all really fell in place. And the first time I visited Clear Creek with him, it was almost immediate. It was just really that light bulb moment went off, and it was like, that's what it's supposed to feel like.
And so as we began attending these services, and I'm hearing the stories that I've heard over the years, it just began to feel different to me in that I knew these things, but I didn't really feel them. I had knowledge of them, and it was beginning to touch my heart that, wow, I really completely understand what it means that Jesus has died for me, and that now I'm going to live this out different than I have before because of that understanding, and that it's more gone into my heart now than it was just about knowing it.
I can remember sitting in small group many times, looking across at Aaron while he's asking questions or he's talking about what he was reading, and I can just remember thinking, man, this is not the same guy that I knew when I first met him. When I first met him, he was a shift manager at UPS, and we were both getting there at like 2 a.m, and I was loading trucks, and man, he was very rough around the edges. A guy that I probably never would have thought would soon be sitting across from me in a Bible study at small group.
Aaron, he won't shy away from telling you when he doesn't know something, and that's okay. His passion and his testimony are the things that he uses the most to just say, this is who God is, this is what he's done in my life. And that's been really inspiring for me to just go and share my story with guys and to try and lead other people to Jesus.
He's hard on himself because he knows he doesn't get it right a lot, but I've never met someone who literally, with everything he does on a daily basis, have Christ in mind of if I'm doing it wrong or if I'm doing it right, like how can I do better to glorify God?
Ultimately, I feel like God has just moved in my life and done great things in my life so that I could turn around and glorify him, and that my small story is really a bigger picture of his greater story and what he's doing for everyone, not just me.